Joining us on Your Stocks today is our ladies special edition of the show. So we have Gaurang Shah of Geojit BNP Paribas Financial Services to answer all your stock queries, and we have Pankaj Matpal of Optima Money Managers on our personal finance front. So afternoon, gentlemen. Let's get to our first caller. We have Usha, who calls us from Jabalpur. Usha, go ahead.
Yes, I want to invest in SBI, about 100 shares for long term. I want to know if this is the right price to enter now.
Okay. When you say long term, what would you mean by it? Maybe your time frame in mind?
About 3-4 years.
Okay. And do you already have investments in equity shares?
Yes, I had investment in other shares, but not in SBI.
Not in State Bank of India. Okay. Gaurang, what would you recommend to Usha? Actually, Usha, I had one more question. Any more banks you have stock investments in?
Yes, I have ICICI and PNB.
Okay. You have holdings in ICICI Bank and Punjab National Bank. Gaurang, what would you advise Usha? She wants to enter SBI at current levels from a long-term perspective. Would it be a good call considering valuations are cheap or cheaper?
Yes, Ekta, good afternoon to you. Well, valuations are already cheaper given the kind of correction and knock that the Bank Nifty has seen, and by the virtue of that Bank Nifty correcting, you have also seen the banking stock, both PSU as well as private sector banks correct. So from here on State Bank of India specifically, the downside looks extremely protected given the kind of correction that we've already seen. And there is some improvement visible in terms of quarter earnings that the bank delivered in terms of, net asset, gross asset, quality deterioration has improved a little bit, provisioning, restructuring has given a better sign, net interest income, net interest margin, both have given improvement visibly. So my sense is that from here on your downside looks extremely protected. It's going to be very difficult to identify a particular level wherein below that, the stock will not go, but from current valuation, as a disclosure, we do have a positive coverage. And our price target with a 1 year plus time horizon stands at, I think, about 345. On our other two investments, ICICI Bank, again, a promising bank, and there is meaningful turnaround Ekta in the numbers as well. Our target is about 365 to 385, but I'm afraid with State Bank, with Punjab National Bank, there we have a sell call. And my advice would be if she wants to exit from Punjab National Bank, in case if she is not suffering a huge damage, then something like a Yes Bank or an IndusInd Bank will also be preferable. At the same time, I would like to request her that don't put your entire investment in one particular sector. You need to diversify.
All right. I hope that advice works for our caller. Up next, we have Madhuri, who is called in with a query on her personal finance. Hi, Madhuri.
हाय
हाय, आपका क्या सवाल है बताइए.
मेरा म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्टमेंट है. एक्सिस मिड कैप फंड में है.
ठीक है.
और रिलायंस इक्विटी अपॉर्चुनिटीज और बीएनपी परिबस इक्विटी फंड.
ओके.
और बिरला सनलाइफ फ्रंटलाइन इक्विटी.
ओके.
और सुंदरम सिलेक्ट मिड कैप में है.
ठीक है.
तो मेरी चॉइस बराबर है या नहीं, और अगले 5 साल में SIP कर रही हूँ.
आप पिछले 5 साल से इसमें रेगुलर?
नहीं, अभी ये नया किया है निवेश.
अच्छा, ये सब नया है. ठीक है.
हाँ, अगले 5 साल करने वाले.
Okay, fine. So, Pankaj, she listed out her funds, and I am sure you've received those funds as well. Do you think this is the right combination and the right approach that she has? She's looking to continue investing for the next 5 years at least. And if you could answer in Hindi, please.
देखिए, आपका जो टाइम होराइजन है वो तो अच्छा है, आप 5 साल का निवेश करना चाहती हैं, लेकिन आपके फंड में थोड़ा सा बदलाव का मैं सुझाव दूंगा. उसके 2 वजह हैं. एक तो जो फंड है वो उनकी परफॉर्मेंस थोड़ी अच्छी नहीं है. दूसरी वजह ये है कि आपके पोर्टफोलियो में मिड कैप फंड ज्यादा है. हम देखते हैं कि मिड कैप फंड में थोड़ी वोलेटिलिटी, मतलब उतार चढ़ाव ज्यादा रहता है, जिससे आपके पोर्टफोलियो का रिस्क बढ़ जाता है. तो मेरा सजेशन आपको ये है कि आप एक एक्सिस मिड कैप फंड और दूसरा रिलायंस इक्विटी अपॉर्चुनिटी फंड, इन 2 स्कीम में से आप निकल जाएं. इसकी जगह पर एक आप फ्रैंकलिन इंडिया हाई ग्रोथ कंपनीज फंड, जो कि एक मल्टी कैप फंड है और काफी अच्छा प्रदर्शन रहा है इसका, अपनी कैटेगरी में ये बहुत ही अच्छा फंड है. आप इस फंड में SIP स्टार्ट कीजिए. और उसके अलावा एक आप मिड कैप में ICICI प्रूडेंशियल वैल्यू डिस्कवरी फंड, इस फंड में आप निवेश कर सकती हैं. ये एक अच्छा फंड है. तो मेरा सुझाव ये होगा कि थोड़ा सा चेंज आप कीजिए, क्योंकि आपका टाइम होराइजन काफी लंबा है और आप अच्छे उद्देश्य से निवेश करना चाह रही हैं। थोड़ा सा जो सजेशन मैंने दिया है इसको आप अपने पोर्टफोलियो में इनकॉर्पोरेट कीजिए, और ताकि आप अच्छा पैसा बना सकें।
Okay, well, that's a personal finance query, but let's get to another stock query. We have Sheetal, who calls us from Pune, and she has a query on Cairn India. Sheetal, go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am, I have a 180 shares at the rate of 255.
Okay.
Now I need to know, should I sell it off and move it to HPCL or coal? And there is some news on with Vedanta. I really don't know about the news. I need to know what is this merger about with Vedanta, how it will help me.
Okay. And your buy price is 255.
Correct, ma'am.
Sure. Gaurang, what would you recommend to Sheetal? Her apprehensions are quite evident in the fact that, we've seen these dynamic reactions which have taken place this week itself for Cairn India on the pros and the possible cons of the merger or the likely merger with Vedanta. And in fact, we do learn, or CNBC TV 18 learns that there could be a meeting this Sunday itself to possibly mull it. What is your sense in the context of all of this news? What would you recommend to her, considering that she's currently even sitting on a loss on Cairn?
Yes, Ekta. So first, a disclosure from my side. We do have a whole recommendation on Cairn India. This was, of course, before this supposedly merger news that came out, and of course, like you rightly mentioned, over the weekend, we may possibly have the announcement finally coming through from the respective management. Now, in terms of synergies, well, it is only prudent to hear from the management, because given the two diversified businesses that they have, Vedanta on one side, Cairn on the other side, how the synergies are going to work is difficult for me to anticipate as of now, unless the management throws the clarity in case if this news flow happens over the weekend. So that's wait and watch as of now. But the other prudent question that she asked was, can she shift from here? Well, my sense is that if she is willing to take that loss, then the options that she has asked, BPCL and Coal India, again, as a disclosure, we do have a positive coverage on both of them. On BPCL, we have very recently upgraded our targets from current levels to about 890. And on Coal India, in case if you are getting invested, then you need to have at least 1.5 2 year plus kind of time horizon, because the kind of activity that Coal India is involved into mining coal, that's a long gestation period. Here again, we have a target of about 435. But on Cairn India, I think it's your call. If you want to stay invested post the merger, in case of some positivity emerges and you get a pullback, and of course, a lot will depend upon the swap ratio as well. So that's again a big question mark. But in case if you want to sell out, I think BPCL and Coal India, either of them are good options.
All right, so that's the advice for you, Sheetal. I hope you've been listening to everything Gaurang has said. That's going to hold you in good.
We have Manju, who calls in from Delhi, and she has investments in Cipla. Manju, go ahead.
Yeah, I have 300. Hi. I have 300 shares of Cipla bought at the rate of 658 rupees.
Okay.
And Divi's Lab 100 shares at price of 1900.
Okay.
And I can wait for 6 months. So I wanted to know the view on both of these shares.
Okay. So you've bought Divi's at 1900 rupees and you've bought Cipla at 658. And how long are you willing to hold it for?
6 months.
Okay, you're planning to hold it for 6 months. Gaurang, what would you recommend Divi's and Cipla from a 6 month horizon, considering the little bit of profit booking we've seen in the pharmaceutical stocks in recent days, especially post this quarter's numbers? Do you think it's a good idea? Might take longer for it to recover?
Yes, Ekta, and I guess if she can extend the time horizon, I think she will end up getting better returns. And given the kind of market direction as well, we believe that at least for next couple of months, there is not going to be any major sell-off or a major uptick on the market. It's going to be a consolidation zone, and within which I think pharmaceuticals would definitely play some role along with IT in terms of safe haven investments. But her investment in Divi's, well, if she can extend the time horizon, she can definitely stay invested. The worry is with Cipla. And as a disclosure, the price targets that we had set aside was already achieved. So in case if she gets an uptick because her acquisition price is a little bit higher, she can use that uptick, and if she translates her 6 months period to 1 year plus, then in our preference, we would advise her to look at Sun Pharma and Cipla, both of which have actually corrected quite a lot. And we don't see any meaningful downside from here on, given the kind of positivities in terms of merger of Ranbaxy with Sun Pharma and in terms of new launches from Lupin. So if she can actually extend the time horizon, switch from Cipla to Sun Pharma or Lupin, and on Divi's Laboratories with a 1 year plus time horizon, she can definitely stay invested.
All right, that's the advice that's coming from Manju. Hope that works. Up next, we have another caller, Vernika, who calls in from Mumbai. Hi, Vernika. How can we help you?
Yeah, hi. I have a question. So I want to start a SIP of 2,500 each into ELSS MF for 36 months.
Okay.
And one SIP of 5,000 into mid-cap oriented funds for 12 months.
Okay.
So which are the funds I can invest in?
Okay, Vanika, I have just one question for you. You're so young, you're barely 23. Why are you looking at such short-term time horizons of just 36 months or 12 months? I mean, is there some sort of a need that you have for funds at these time intervals?
I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
I'm asking that, are you in need of funds after 12 months or 36 months? I mean, why are you choosing such a short time horizon? Okay. I don't think we're on a very clear line right now. So, Pankaj, she's very young. She's just 23. She, on her own, is looking at time horizons of 12 months and 36 months. So, unless there is a need of funds at this time, would you advise that she look at extending the time horizon? And what would be the choice of funds?
Sumaira, because in equity she is investing, so 1 year definitely is a very, very short period. And that also she is expecting, she wants to invest in mid-cap funds. But anyway, because she does not have a clear goal or time horizon, as far as schemes are concerned for ELSS, I recommend her to invest in Axis Long-Term Equity Fund, and another scheme can be ICICI Prudential Tax Plan. So, if she wants to invest through SIP route, it is good. She can invest every month for 36 months, and lock-in is also 3 years. So that she should understand that if you invest in this scheme, because she is investing through SIP route, so each purchase is considered as a fresh investment. So whenever she invests 2,500 rupees, from that date, that those units will be locked for 3 years. So that she should keep in mind that she cannot redeem her entire investment after 3 years from the first date of purchase. As far as mid-cap funds are concerned, she can consider SBI Magnum Mid-Cap Fund or ICICI Prudential Value Discovery Fund. These are good schemes, but again, 1 year is not a sufficient time for equity, especially for mid-cap fund. If she wants to invest only for 1 year, fine, but at least she should not redeem those units after 1 year. She should remain invested for long term, set your goal, link that investment to your goal at least for 3 to 5 year minimum, then only you can expect good returns from your investment.
Okay, well, time for a break now.
Some queries. Our 2 experts are with us as well. And on the line with us now is Preeti, who's called in from Bangalore. Hi, Preeti.
Hi. Okay, I'm planning to invest some 5,000 rupees, I mean, as an initial, because I have no clue how it works.
Okay.
Okay. So I just want an expert advice on, is 5,000 enough for the first investment, and which are the sectors I can look at? I was considering banks like ICICI and SBI. So is that a good option, or should I look at some other sectors like?
Okay, so before I toss it to Gaurang, let me congratulate you on taking the plunge and also seeking advice before you've made your first investment as opposed to when you've made your first loss. So I hope this advice is going to work well for you, because also, your entire ideology of looking at bigger stocks, looking at, good sectors is going to hold you in good stead. But Gaurang, what is the stock-specific advice that we can help Preeti with?
Well, I would definitely agree with you, Sumaira, on the advice that you've given her. Primarily, I would say the sector that she has identified, banking, is a great one to be with. We are in a top-down interest rate scenario, and as we go forward from here on, in case if the domestic data points are supportive, we may see further rate cuts coming through. So, SBI, ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, Kotak Bank and HDFC Bank. That's the broader private sector stroke PSU bank universe that she can invest in. Other than that, IT and pharma. In IT, Infosys, TCS, HCL Tech, Tech Mahindra, Personal System and Mindtree. And in pharma, Sun Pharma, Lupin, Dr. Reddy's, Aurobindo Pharma. My advice also to her would be to have a longer term time frame. And if she's starting with say 5,000 rupees, and if she is going to increase this amount further, then the priority should be banking and IT. And in the two sectors, you should concentrate on the stocks that I've mentioned, and systematically be very disciplined in investing the amount in your equity market, and also at the same time have a goal in mind, so that whenever you achieve that kind of return that you want, it is prudent to take money off the table as well and keep a long-term time horizon.
Alright, Preeti, that's the advice for you. But Gaurang, you've just rattled off the names. So I have one more advice for Preeti, which is that this is going to be uploaded on YouTube in a matter of minutes. So if you haven't caught all the stocks that Gaurang has mentioned, Preeti, you might consider going on YouTube and actually noting down all the stocks that you've mentioned.
Yes, thank you so much. One more small query,
Yes.
When you say long term, like how much, what is the period you're looking at?
Well, ideally more than 5 years. But Gaurang, what were you referring to?
Well, even I would say 5 years, but at least 1 year plus, that is 12 months to 16 months, you should definitely have in mind. And our conservative target with that kind of a time horizon is at least 10 to 15%.
So Gaurang, where do you see the Nifty in 5 years?
Well, Ekta, that's your guess is as good as mine. But we believe till calendar year end, we should be above 30,000, and calendar year end is about December 2000.
You're talking about Nifty or
Sensex?
No, I'm talking about Sensex. Sumera, I would die. I'll fall off the chair.
Just confirming.
You never know that things could change, Gaurang. Everyone lives in hope. But thanks very much.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
Thanks very much for joining in and talking to us and solving all of those queries. Pankaj as well as Gaurang for joining in on the stock as well as on the personal finance space.